Hey King, thanks for clicking on the video. On today's episode of Chronicles of Lolcows, I want to take a trip to the impoverished city of Akron, Ohio, where within an absolute musical genius toils away in the attic of his grandma's house. He works day in and day out, creating absolutely bumping beats with some of the sickest vocals you have ever heard. Cyrax's talents have been compared to the likes of the late great Chester Bennington, the former lead singer of Linkin Park, due to Cyrax's uncanny ability to match the singer's vocal range and ability, especially when it comes to the screams. Take a listen. Now, I believe that particular scream was to show that Cyraxx could also achieve the legendary 17-second scream that Chester did in the song Given Up by Linkin Park. I'm not going to play Chester's rendition due to copyright, but trust me, they're basically indistinguishable. Cyrax's main form of musical content at the moment is cover shows, where Cyraxx will put on a voice changer effect such as reverb or autotune, and then sing over the top of songs that he plays off of YouTube. We even get the incredibly immersive concert experience of sitting through all of the YouTube ads between the songs. Again, I'm not really going to play an example of this because I don't want to risk copyright, but it is about as bad as you would expect. It's basically just whatever song he is playing with Cyraxx doing metal screams over it, which is usually in places that there isn't metal screams, so it just comes off as really jarring. But I do find it extremely entertaining when he isn't doing that and is trying to match the vocals of the song, but he doesn't usually know all of the lyrics, so he just kind of fumbles over himself for a while, and that's pretty funny. If you really want to see an example of what I'm talking about, you can go over to N-Word Boy's channel. He is the biggest Cyraxx archiver, so you'll find plenty of examples over there. Now, you may be wondering, if Cyraxx is so musically talented, why does he just do all of these covers instead of his own original work? Well, he has done quite a bit of his own work as well. In fact, he has one major hit being Street Racing Scene.
Hey yo, here we go. Light 'em up, boys. Rev those engines. Let's go. Rev the engines, here we go. Cruising around town, we know where to go. Cruising around town, just me and my homies, hitting up the trip scene, hitting up the track scene.
I love how he manages to fuck up his own song in the performance right in the beginning, but obviously this song went triple platinum upon its release, however not under the name of Cyraxx. You see, the song Street Racing Scene, along with all the other songs that Cyraxx claims to have produced, were actually created by an individual known as Wance Chilkins. Now, Cyraxx would have you believe that Wance Chilkins is merely a creation of the trolls William Gloryhole and N-Word Boy. I believe those are his prime suspects, due to the fact that Wance Chilkins is seemingly very close to the name of Cyraxx, which is Chance Wilkins. Cyraxx's conspiracy is that they merely switched the first letters of the names around, but that's obviously ridiculous. I mean, Wance has the copyrights to the songs, so clearly he made them, and it's actually pretty messed up that Cyraxx is trying to pull the wool over everyone's eyes and trying to claim music that clearly isn't his. But of course, this is far from the worst thing that Cyraxx has ever done, so I digress. The actual clip that we're going to be focusing on today is in regards not to Cyraxx's vocal abilities, but instead his guitar playing. See, lately I've been dabbling a bit in guitar and bass playing. It's something that I've wanted to learn for quite some time, and I've lately been putting in some effort into learning it. I would consider my own skill to be extremely elementary at this point still, but we are getting there, and I always find it interesting when I share a common interest with a lolcow, because it's always fun to see how they interact with whatever hobby it is. Usually not well, but it ends up being really funny for me, so let's take a look at what old Cyraxx has to offer with his guitar playing.
What up, y'all? So, after the last stream, I've been seeing a lot of people talking shit, saying that I don't know how to play proper, that what I'm doing isn't right.
Now that can be a real problem when you put yourself out there performing some sort of skill. It will attract other people who have that same skill, and they may be a bit critical of how you're doing things, especially if you're doing things wrong. However, I wouldn't call what Cyraxx described as talking shit. It sounded more like constructive criticism, but it's unsurprising that Cyraxx would misunderstand the intent of these comments as an attack due to his extremely massive yet weak ego.
And I simply need to learn all these songs in order to be good. That I need to learn to play all these legendary songs by bands like Fire Force and all these other bands that came before. And all these other guitarists that came before me by people like Dimebag Darrell, rest in peace to Dimebag. And that just simply isn't true.
Yeah, for sure. Rest in peace, Dimebag. That's most definitely what's up. But Cyraxx, the reason people say you should learn other people's songs, especially classic ones, is to give you something familiar that can help you practice, that puts together all of the techniques that you should be learning. Now, I suppose it is possible to become good at guitar without learning other people's songs by studying the notes and music theory probably, but it just makes sense to learn popular songs because it can also help inspire you when you're writing your own stuff. This is just a side note as well, but I seriously doubt that Cyrax can play Smoke on the Water, which is one of the easiest songs to play on the guitar ever.
You don't need to play older songs. You don't need to be able to know how to play older songs to be good. And so I'm here to prove every motherfucker that's ever doubted me wrong. I'm here to show y'all that I know how to fucking shred. And that you don't need to know how to play all these heavy as fuck songs to be able to be good. So, with that being said, let's get this shit started.
Okay. Chicken is so juicy it demands a pillowing potato.
That is one of the funniest things I've seen from Cyrax. He starts his backing track because obviously you can't show your skill with guitar shredding without other people's music playing in the background. However, the track doesn't start right away. Instead, it plays ads. Now, he needed to skip 3 ads, it sounded like, which is awful. Not his fault for once, just YouTube can be really cringe with ads. But I also appreciate the detail that he started playing a little bit over the ad and looked confused when he realized the song he wanted to play wasn't on. But after that little road bump, we get to hear this boy shred.
Let me restart that so it's a little lower so you guys can actually hear what I'm doing.
Hell yeah, brother. I don't know about you, but Cyrax has officially convinced me that I don't need to learn anyone else's music to be good at shredding. Never mind the fact that he didn't shred at all. Even if he played the song well and not like complete garbage, it still wouldn't have been shredding, because this is what shredding is supposed to sound like. Speaking of King Cobra, I do respect Cyrax's use of the spooky tuning. For anyone who is unaware, that is King Cobra's special tuning that he achieved through never tuning his guitar, but Cyrax seems to have gone even further with it because his Squire there sounds extra out of tune. The tuning really shows Cyrax's actual ability and experience with guitar because tuning is one of the easiest things to achieve, especially nowadays because there are tuning devices that clip onto the head of your guitar that tell you what note is being played by the string. There are apps for your phone that achieve more or less the same thing, but what I like about the apps is that it also tells you the note that each string is supposed to be in for your desired tuning. That is especially helpful if you're trying to do some drop tuning stuff, which most metal music is in a drop tuning of some sort. But anyway, the point here is that you no longer have to learn how to tune by ear. I'm sure that's something that you would pick up naturally along the way through experience, but because of all these tools that exist, there is absolutely no excuse for your guitar to be that horribly out of tune. And I know that Cyrax has at least one of the clip-on tuners, as Fender Fender Squier guitars, which is what I'm pretty sure he has there, usually come in a kit that come with the guitar, a small amp, a tuner, gig bag, and picks and stuff. So he has the tools, he's just choosing to be bad.
You guys ready? Where's all my fucking metalheads?
Okay, Cyrax, I respect a little bit of freestyle over the song. He started by playing along, I think, but during the verse he just started fumbling around and made it up as he went. I mean, he is a natural lead guitarist, so he definitely improved whatever 3 Days Grace or Breaking Benjamin song that is.
Since these motherfuckers want all original shit, let's fucking give it to them. Let's fucking give them what they want.
Oh yeah, buddy, that's definitely what I wanted. That riff went hard when I could hear it. I don't know how he was doing it, but it seemed like the volume was undulating like Jason Blaha's hearing, so I could only really hear every third note, but Cyrax is the professional audio engineer here, so he would definitely know best. I also couldn't help but notice that his form while playing was very wrong the entire time. He was picking the strings up by the neck, which, I don't know, maybe that's a legit way of doing that, but I've always assumed that you want to pick by the pickups. And when he finally got to his own original work, he had his thumb wrapped over the neck over the top two strings. I've never seen that personally. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt, however, and assume that he was doing that to fret the notes that he needed on those strings so he could use the rest of his fingers to fret the notes on the rest of the strings. It's either that or he's severely regarded. We may never know which. That is it for this particular clip, however. I think it really gave us a good look at how talented this particular PDF file really is. Cyrax has teased in the past that he is working on a metal album, which is truly something that I would love to listen to, because if he brings this kind of heat on the guitar, it could be an absolute banger of an album. But I don't have high hopes for that album ever releasing, as Cyrax seems to be less focused on his music career lately, but who knows, maybe someday. That's going to be it from me, however. If you have any suggestions for any particular Lolcow moments that you would want me to cover in this format, by all means let me know. I have a list of a bunch of more moments that I would personally like to cover, but I'd also like to hear from you as well. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, have a blessed day, and peace out.